Children, welcome to Math Park. Today we are going to solve exercise 2C of the chapter Compound Interest Without Using Formula, class 9 ICSE, the book Concise, Selina. So MCQs are already done. So we start with all other questions. All questions are going to be solved. So if you like this video, please share with your friends. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. So after MCQ, the first question is, the question number 2 of this exercise, a certain sum of money amounts to rupees 5,292 in 2 years and rupees 5,556 and 60 paisa in 3 years, interest being compounded annually. Find the rate of interest. So simple formula for rate of interest is difference between the money amount for the 2 consecutive years, which is 5,556.60 minus 5,292 times 100 upon the original, that is for the previous year, which is 5,292, and for 1 year. So let us simplify this. The difference between these two is 6 minus 2 is 4, 5, 15 minus 9 is 6, carry 1, 5 minus 3 is 2, and 5 minus 5 is 0. So 264.60 times 100 upon 5,292. Let us remove this decimal. So we get here 26460 into 100. Removing the decimal, we get the denominator 100. And this is 5,292. Simplify this. And on simplifying this, you get this as 5 fours are 20. So look at this, just multiply 5,292 by 5 5s are 25. So nearest closest to 26 is 25. So let us try, because the last digit is 0. 5 2s are 10, carry 1, 5 9s are 45 plus 1 46. 4 5 2s are 10 plus 4 14, carry 1, 5 5s are 25 plus 1 26. Yes, it goes 5 times. So this is how the rate of interest is 5%. Now once the rate of interest is given, so without using formula also you can do, but for finding the original sum, we will be using the formula. It is, if it is not being specified without using formula, you can go ahead to find the original sum using the formula. So you get A is equal to P in bracket 1 plus R upon 100 raised to N, where A is given to you. The amount after 2 years is given to you as 5,292. And principal is what we have to find out. 1 plus rate of interest is just calculated 5 by 100. And for 2 years, this is 5,292 for 2 years. So let us put it 2 here. So on simplifying this, we get 5,292. This is 5 ones are and 5 20s are 20 plus 1, 21. So this is going to be 21 ka square, which is 441. P upon 20 ka square is going to be 400. So you get 5,292 is equal to 441 P upon 400. So keeping P here, shift that side. So you get P equals 5,292 into 400 divided by 441. Simplify this. 441, if you divide, you get 441 and you get 12s, and 12 fours are 4,800. So rupees 4,800 is the original sum. Got it? The rate 5% and 4,800 is the original sum. Moving to question number 3. Mohit invests rupees 8,000 for 3 years at a certain rate of interest, compounded annually. At the end of 1 year, it amounts to rupees 9,440. Calculate the rate of interest per annum. The amount at the end of the second year. The interest occurred in the end of the third year. So this is again easy. Finding the rate when it is given for a consecutive, it is the difference in the difference between the two consecutive amounts, so which is going to be 9,440. The original was 8,000 times 100 and the original upon original amount, and for 1 year. So which we get it as the difference of this is 1440 times 100 upon 8,000. So this zeros get cancelled. 144 when you divide by 8, you get this as 18%. This is how we calculate the rate of interest. So first part is done. Now second part, the amount at the end of the second year. So for finding the amount at the end of the second year, at the end of 1 year, it is amounting to this. So for consecutive year, difference between the two amounts for consecutive year, we found out the rate. Now we have to find out the amount at the end of the second year. So for that, first we find out the interest. So we get the interest for the second year. Let us take it as I2, which is equal to the principal is now going to be the amount at the end of the first year, which is 9,440. Rate of interest is 18% for 1 year divided by 100. So it is better you can do is 944 times 1.8. 944 times 1.8, you get this as rupees 1,699.20. This becomes the interest. Now you have to find the amount at the end of the second year. So which is A2, I call it as. So which is principal, which was 9,440 plus the interest, which is 1,699.20, which you get it as 9 plus 4, 13, carry 1, 6 plus 4, 10 plus 1, 11, carry 1, 9 plus 2, 11. Rupees 11,139 and 20 paise. So this is the answer for your second one. Now you have to find the interest occurred in the third year. So just interest is asked. So we find the interest for the third year, where the principal is now 11,139.20 times rate of interest is 18 upon 100. So removing this decimals, you get 1139. This 0 does not have a value. So I can put it as a 2 and into 18 upon 1000. What you can do is, instead of simplifying, if the denominator is 10, 100,000, it is better to multiply the numerator. On multiplying the numerator, I am getting this as 200506056. Okay, since there are three decimal places, we put the decimal here. So my answer is 2005.0. If I round it to two decimal places, 06. So this is the interest for the end of the third year. Got it? Moving through question number 4. The compound interest calculated yearly on a certain sum of money for the second year is 1,089, and for the third year is 1,197 and 90 paise. Calculate the rate of interest and sum of money. So rate of interest is easy since it is given for the consecutive years. So we just difference in interest or a difference in amount, it goes the same. So you get 1197.90 minus 1089 times 100. For the second year, it was 1089. So the previous year we take into the time period is 1. So difference of these two, 1197.90 into, you get 108.9 times 100 upon 1089. So removing the decimal, we get 1089 into 100. Since one decimal point, we take a denominator 10 and there was 1089. So this 1089 gets cancelled and we get the rate of interest as 10%. Now once we have got the rate of interest, now they have asked you to calculate the sum of money. To find the sum of money, what we can do is we can do without using formula. So we first find the rate of interest for the first year. Let us take the principal to be P. Let principal is equal to P. We find the interest for the first year. So that is I1. That is P into the rate of interest we found 10 into 1 upon 100, which we get it as P upon 10. Then the amount at the end of the first year is going to be uh, P plus P by 10. The LCM is 10 plus 1, 11 upon 10. 11P upon 10 becomes the amount. Now for the second year, and the interest for the second year. So interest for the second year is the principal is going to be 11P upon 10 into rate is 10% into 1. Sorry, this was 10 and upon 100. And this is given to you as 1089. So let us simplify this. So you get P equals, and the difference is given to you, the compound interest is given to you 1089. So which is 1089 into this 100 goes up, 10 into 10, 100 goes up, divided by 11. Dividing 1089 by 9, I get this as 99. So this is how I get 9,900 was the sum of money. Got it? Moving to question number 5. The sum is invested at compound interest on compounded yearly. The rate of two successive years is to be 5,700 and 7,410. Calculate the rate of interest. This is the simplest question. So rate of interest is difference between the interest two consecutive years. So 7410 minus 5700 times 100 upon the original, which was 5700 into 1. So simplify. So difference between 7410 and 5710, we get 1710 upon 57. So which we get it as 57. You multiply 57 into 3, you get 171. So that is how you get 30% is the rate of interest. That was easy. Moving to question number 6. The cost of machine depreciated by 4,000 during the first year and by rupees 3,600 during the second year. Calculate the rate of depreciation. Okay. So the rate of depreciation is again easy. Is the difference between the two consecutive years ka depreciation, which is 4,000 minus 3,600. Now depreciation is on the original amount, which was 4,000 and times 100. So 4,000 minus 3,600, we get 400 times 100 upon 4,000, which we get it as 10%. So the rate of interest, we got 10%. So rate of depreciation, we got it as 10%. Next, we calculate the interest for the original cost of the machine. We can find out the original cost of the machine. To find the original cost of the machine, first we find the depreciation was given to you as 4,000 for the first year. So the depreciation for the first year is going to be what was the original amount. Let us take it as P into the rate of depreciation was 10 upon 100, and which was given to you as 4,000. So using this, now we calculate, we get the original sum. The original cost of the machine was 4,000 into 10, which was 40,000. So 40,000 was the original cost of the machine. Now we have to find the cost at the end of the third year. Here we will be using the formula that would be easier one to do it. So for the third year, we use the rate of depreciation wala formula, that is A is equal to P bracket 1 minus R upon 100 raised to N. So N is here 3 years. So we here the principal, that is original amount, was 40,000 into 1 minus rate is 10 upon 100 raised to 3. So which is 10 minus 1 is 9. So we get 40,000 into 9 cube, which is 729, divided by 1,000, and 729, this is 40,000. So 40,000, with this 1,000 is 3 go, 0 get cut. 729 multiplied by 40, we get rupees 29,160 was the cost of the machine at the end of the third year. Okay, moving to question number 7. And Ramesh invests rupees 12,800 Ramesh invests rupees 12,800 for 3 years at the rate of 10% per annum compound interest. Find the sum due to Ramesh at the end of the first year, the interest he earns for the second year, the total amount due to him at the end of the third year. So here the principal is given to you as rupees 12,800 is the principal. The rate of interest is given to you as 10%. The time period is given to you as 3 years. So n is equal to 3 years is given to you. And you have to find the sum due to Ramesh at the end of the first year. For that, let us first find the interest for the first year. Let me take it as I1, where the principal is 12,800 multiplied by the rate into time for the 1 year we are finding upon 100, which we get it as rupees 1280. Okay. So if this is the interest, the amount that is amount for the first year is going to be the principal for the second year, which is going to be the principal 12800 plus the rate interest, which is 1280, which we get it as rupees 14080. So this is going to be the principal for the second year. Now we find the rate of interest for the second year, where the principal is 14080. The rate of interest is 10% for 1 year upon 100, which we get it as rupees 1408. And then amount for the second year, which is the principal for the third year, is going to be 14080 plus 1408, and that is rupees 15488, 15,488. So this is going to be the amount at the end of the second year, which becomes the principal for the third year. Now we find the interest for the third year, where the principal is 15488 into the rate is 10 into 1 upon 100. So which we get it as rupees 154.8.8. Okay, this is the interest. And we always take it as rupees paise as 2 decimal places. Now the interest for the second year we found out. Now we have to interest for the second year that we have calculated was 1408. Okay, the sum due at the end of the first year we found out, which was 14080. Now we have to find out the total amount due at the end of the third year. For that we found the interest. So amount at the end of the third year. So final amount at the end of third year. At the end of third year is going to be the principal, which was 15488 plus 154.880. Add this. So this is 80 paisa. 8 plus 8, 16. Carry 1. 8 plus 4, 12 plus 1, 13. Carry 1. You get 10. Carry 1, 7. 1, 7. So we get rupees 17,036 and 80 paisa. This is the amount which was due to him at the end of the third year. Moving to question number 8. A certain sum of money is put at compound interest compounded half yearly. If the interest for two successive half years is 650 and 760.50, find the rate of interest. So rate of interest is difference between the interest for successive years, which is 760.50 minus 650 up into 100 upon the original, which was 650. Now, whenever it is half yearly, this was for two successive half years. So we are going to take 1 upon 2. Okay, compounded half yearly. So the two successive years, half years, so 1 upon 2. So 1 upon 2 is going to be the year. Two successive half years makes 2 half years. Okay, now let us simplify this further. So the difference of this is going to be 110.5. Okay, this 2 will shift up and into 10, and denominator we have 65. So let us make it 1105 into 20 upon 65. So 65 is divisible by 5. I get 5 13s, 5 2s are 10, 5 2s are 10, 5 1s are 5. So 2, 2, 1. Since we wrote it 110.5, we have a denominator 10 again here. This 2 had got shifted up. So, so that becomes 20. This 0 got cancelled. 13, where 221 divided by 13, I get 17. And 17 times we get 34% is the rate of interest. Okay. Moving to question number 9. 9. Deepa borrowed rupees 15,000 for 18 months at a certain rate of interest compounded semi-annually. At the end of 6 months, it is amounted to 15,600. So this is the two consecutive, amounts. So we get the rate of interest is 15,600 minus 15,000 times 100 upon the original, which was 15,000. And since it was semi-annually, we have to divide it by 2. So 1 upon 2. So which we get it as, this is 600. Difference is 600 into 100. This 2 will shift up upon 15,000. So we get 15 fours are 60. So rate of interest is 8%. Now we got the rate of interest. Now we are asked to find the total amount of money that Geeta must pay at the end of 18 months in order to clear the account. So for this, let us use the formula here. So using the formula, you get A is equal to P bracket 1 plus R upon 200 for the half yearly, which is 2N. So amount we already know, finding here. So principal was 15,000. 1 plus the rate we have calculated 8 upon 200. And the period here is 1.5 year. So 1.5, which is 3 by 2. So into 3 by 2. So which we get it as. So this, if I simplify, I get 2 fours and 2 hundreds are keeping denominator 100 is always easy. So we have 15,000 into this becomes 100 plus 404 upon 100 into 104 upon 100 into 104 upon 100. Simplify, you got these many zeros cut. So further it is, if I divide by 2, I get 2 5s and 2 5s are 10, 52. Again dividing by 5, I get 5 3s are 15. So what is left in the numerator? We have 104 into 104 into 52 into 3. Let us do this multiplication. So we get 104 into 104 into 52 and into 3, which we get it as 1687296, right? And then the denominator we have 100 left. Okay, so if I put the decimal, I'm getting rupees. So this is your final answer. So the total amount of money that Geeta must pay at the end of 18 months in order to clear the account is rupees 16,872 and 96 paise. Got it? Moving to question number 10. Rupees 8,000 is lent out at 7% compound interest for 2 years. At the end of the first year, rupees 3,560 are returned. Calculate the interest paid for the second year. The total interest paid in 2 years. The total amount of money paid in 2 years to clear the debt. Okay. Now, so for this, we are given the principal is equal to rupees 8,000. The rate of interest is given to you as 7%. And the period is given to you as 2 years. So let us first find the interest for the first year. Let me take it as I1 into rate into 1 year upon 100. So 7 8s are 56, which I get rupees 560. So the amount for the first year at the end of the first year is going to be 8,000 plus 560, which is 8560. Out of this, he returns rupees 35060 at the end of the first year. So the principal for the second year is going to be 8560 minus 3560, which is returning. So which we get it as rupees 5000. Now using this, now we find the interest for the second year. So the interest for the second year, the principal is now 5000. The rate of interest is 7% into 1 upon 100, which we get it as rupees 350. Now this is rupees 350 is the interest for the second year. Now the total interest, they have asked you the total interest paid for 2 years. So the second part, the first part is done. The total interest for the paid for the 2 years, for 2 years is going to be the interest for the first year, which was 560, plus for the second year, which was 350, which we get it as rupees 910. So rupees 910 is the total interest. This is how we have done for the second one, paid for 2 years. Now the third part, the total amount of money paid in 2 years to clear the debt. Now how much has he paid? So the total amount paid, amount at the end of the second year is going to be this 5000 plus 350, which was 5350 was the amount at the end of the second year. And then he also pays 3560, 3560 more he repays. So the total amount that he repays to clear the debt is 5 plus 6, 11, carry 1, 3 plus 1, 4 plus 5, 9, and 5 plus 3, 8. So total amount he pays to clear the debt is rupees 8910. Rupees 8910. Got that? Find the sum invested at 10% compounded annually, on which the interest for the third year exceeds the interest for the first year by rupees 252. So here let us take, let principal is equal to P, principal equals P. Then your rate of interest is given to you as 10% compounded annually. So let us find the interest for the first year. So which is P into R into T, which is 1 upon 100, which we get it as P upon 10. Then the amount at the end of the first year is going to be P plus P by 10. So 10 plus 1, 11. So which is going to be 11 P upon 10. Now this was the interest for the first year was P by 10. Remember. Then you have to find out the interest for the second year, which is the principal is going to be 11 P upon 10 into 10 and the whole upon 100 into 1. So which we get it as 11p upon 100. So this is the interest for the second year. So interest for the second year we know. Now we find the amount at the end of the second year, which is going to be 11p upon 10 plus 11p upon 100. So LCM is 100 here. So 110 plus 11. 110 plus 11, you get 121p upon 100 becomes the amount. Using this, now we find the interest for the third year. So the interest for the third year is equal to 121p upon 100 into rate of interest is 10 into 1 year upon 100. So which we get it as 121p upon 1000. This is the interest. Now here they have given you the difference in the interest. The interest for the third year exceeds the interest for the first year by 252. That means I3 minus I1 is given to you as 252. So I3, which is 121p upon 1000 minus interest for the first year was p by 10 and which is equal to 252. So here you'll have to multiply by 100 So multiplying by 100, you get 121 minus 100 is 21p upon 1000 equals 252. So get p is equal to 252 into 1000 upon 21. So on simplifying this, 21, 5 plus 2, 7 plus 2, 9 divisible by 3. So, yeah, 3 sevens are, or directly you divide 252 by 21. So, dividing 252 by 21, 21 ones are 21, 4, 2, yeah, 12. Okay, so 12s are, and 12 into 1000, we get 12,000 was the sum. Rupees 12,000 is a sum that was invested at 10% compounded annually, on which the difference in the third year and the first year was 252. Moving to question number 12. A man borrows rupees 10,000 at 10% compound interest compounded yearly. At the end of each year, he pays back 30% of the sum borrowed. How much money is left unpaid just after second year? So this type of question we have already done in exercise 2B. Let's solve this. It is easy. So the man borrows rupees 10,000. So you have principal is equal to rupees 10,000. The rate of interest is 10%. Okay, so let us find the interest for the first year, which is 10,000 into 10 upon 100, which we get it as rupees 1,000. So the amount at the end of first year is going to be 1,000 plus 10,000 plus 1,000, 10,000 plus 1,000, which is going to be rupees 11,000. Now, what he does is at the end of each year, he repays back the 30% of the sum borrowed. So the principal for the second year is going to be the amount which was 11,000 minus he repays 30% of the sum borrowed. So 30 by 100 times 10,000. So which is 11,000 minus 3,000 is rupees 8,000. So this becomes the principal for the second year. Now let us find the interest for the second year, where the principal is now 8,000 into the rate of interest is 10% for 1 year upon 100. So which we get it as rupees 800. If you got this as rupees 800, the amount is going to be 8,000 plus 800, which is 8,800. Okay, then 8,800, out of that he repays 30% again. So you have how much money is left unpaid after the second year. So out of this, the money which is left to be paid, the money left to be paid is equal to 8,800 minus 30% of. So this is 3,000. So which is 8,800 minus 3,000, which is 5,800. So this is your final answer. 5,800 is left after the second year, which is unpaid. Moving to the last question of today's video or exercise 2C. A man borrows rupees 10,000 at 10% compound interest compounded yearly. At the end of each year, he pays back 20% of the amount for that year. How much money is left unpaid? So remember, amount for that year. Earlier it was amount borrowed originally. So just be careful how much money is left unpaid just after the second year. So moving to this last question of today's video, the principal is given to you as rupees 10,000. The rate of interest is given to you as 10%. Let us find the interest for the first year. So which is 10,000 into 10 upon 100, which is rupees 1,000. Now the amount going to be 1,000, 10,000 plus 1,000, which is rupees 11,000. This is your amount for the first year. Out of this, he repays 20% for the amount for that year. So the principal for the second year is going to be this 11,000 minus 20% of 11,000. 20% of 11,000. So, which is 11,000 minus 11 twos are 22, 2,200. So, 11,000 minus 2,200, which we get as 8,800 rupees. 8,800 becomes the principal for the second year. Now, let us find the interest for the second year. So, which is 8,800 into 10 into 1 upon 100. So, which we get it as rupees 880. So, the amount becomes now 8,800 plus 880, which is rupees 9,680. This becomes the amount. Out of this, he repays 20%. So, the money which is left unpaid, so that is remaining amount will be equal to 9,680 minus 20% of 9,680. 20% of 9,680. So which we get it as 9,680 into, sorry, minus 20 upon 100 times 9,680. So which we get it as 968 into 2, let us do 9,680 minus 2 8s are 16, carry 1, 2 6 are 12 plus 1 13, carry 1, 2 9s are 18 plus 1 19. So 9,680 minus 1,936, which is rupees 7,744 is left unpaid just after the second year. So this is how we have completed exercise 2C, children. If you feel this is helpful, please share with your friends. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.